Hello, welcome to the I'm thinking I messed that one up, didn't I? Hello, welcome to the stream. Big ups for tuning in. Today we are talking about some news that dropped earlier. Okay, I'm trying to do a Man City news stream every week at the very least. 1 point in each week. So yeah, look, we got some news that dropped earlier. In terms of what the news is, it's revealed some big names that could very well be on the way out in the summer. You know, some proper big names. Some of the ones on the thumbnail you may have seen. So yeah, we're gonna dive straight into it, but it's gonna be a bit more than just looking at that news. We're gonna turn this into a I don't know if it's so much a fun stream, but definitely an entertaining one where you guys will be able to interact. Cool. Here we go. Found the post from Live. Here we go. Who is also Fabrizio Romano, I believe. Just think it's one of his accounts. Daniel Sison. I did that the other stream. I did that the other stream for a little bit. I'm not doing it again. It's a very strange request. Welcome to the chat. This is Sissy. Big up. Yes. Yeah, we had some big news drop earlier. Apologies for such a late start, by the way. I think I was 35 minutes late before I delayed, so that's my bad. I do apologize for that. But look, I'm going to show you the news that came out right now. So, our worst European campaign is over. Why, Daniel? Is it something I've misconnected? I don't know. He's just messaged that into the chat. I don't know. I mean, nothing wrong with it. It's just a bit of a strange request. You haven't missed anything. It's not like I've mentioned it. But anyway, here is the quote. This news came out from a different source earlier, I believe, but Live Here We Go basically confirmed it, and Jack Gorn has also touched on it, so we're going to have a look at his Twitter in a minute too. So, revealed, Man City's list of top players set to leave the club has been reported today by Daily Star. Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, John Stones, Mateo Kovacic, Ilkay Gundogan, Edison, Jack Grealish, and Kyle Walker are all expected to leave Man City. This is only addressing top players, by the way, so there could be more. When that guy was asking to see your shirt, yeah, I know, and wearing my shirt backwards. Very strange requests we get on here sometimes, but oh well, each to their own. Make sure to hit the likes if you haven't already. Jack Gorn also reported it. Yeah, so look, this is essentially confirmed. This is essentially the top list. I don't know if we're actually going to sell all these guys, if I'm being real. I don't think we're actually going to sell all these. I think we're going to get a good chunk of these guys out. And before we talk about that, there are a couple more things I want to do before we properly speak about that. Jack Gorn went into a little bit more detail. So we're gonna hop over to Jack Gorn and see what his points were on this. Share tab. So, we'll go to City Extra because I know they reposted whatever he said. Here we go. Nathan Ake. Jack Gorn. I believe that's the first quote from Jack Gorn. So here we go. Jack Gorn, there could be comfortably 5 Man City players who leave. KDB's future is in the air. Ilkay Gundogan is close to triggering an extension, but is the sort of guy who would amicably shake hands if the time is right. And Edison will have offers. He did last summer, no surprise he will this summer. Bernardo Silva's dipped. Grealish is more out than in with Guardiola. John Stones is injured again. Kovacic and Mateus Nunes are in that list. So, look, this is quite a big list. It looks like we're being quite ruthless. Look, Mateus Nunes, by the time summer comes around, would have only been here for 2 years. Kovacic only here for 2 years. We seem like we're being quite ruthless. I don't think anyone is particularly off the table apart from January signings and some of the star players like Foden, Haaland, and Rodri. Jack Gorn said last night, basically, was the Monaco moment for the club. Yeah, I mean, he might not be wrong. We look like we are going to be making some big sales in this summer. KDB, of course, he wouldn't be a sale. He would be just leaving for free. KDB, his role could be so strange. Nunes, Kovacic and Nunes must go. Pep don't trust, especially Nunes. Pep don't trust him. Yeah, Nunes was a panic buy from the start, and I don't think panic buys ever really go well. Sometimes they do. I think more often than not they don't. Daniel Sison, can you give me the reason for your request? Just such a weird request. No offense. Like wearing my shirt backwards, seeing all my shirts. Now, I know you're not saying those, but why do you want to see like half my arm? That is actually awful recruitment. 60 million on a midfield, and the manager has never actually played in midfield. I mean, and also 60 million on a midfielder that at Wolves, his first season was kind of a flop. When he was at Sporting, he was like brilliant in the midfield and got lots of goal contributions. I think in his first season at Wolves, he didn't get any more than 5. It's a cold night. I think connectors are all right. Yeah, I mean, what time is it, lads? It's almost 10. It's not exactly summer. In summertime, more often than not, I believe I don't have like a jacket on. So come back in the Club World Cup, and you will receive your wish for basically the whole of the summer window, or at least most of it. Yeah, but look, this is big news. I didn't really expect this kind of news to drop like this, but it has. It has dropped, and I definitely think it's worth speaking about. Now then, you might think that's where the news ends. And it kind of is. But I wanted to do something just for a little bit of fun. We did this not too long ago. Well, we did this a couple months ago. But I thought we'd bring it back now. Reevaluate, see where we're at. So, here we go. Share tab. Tier maker. Keep, sell, undecided. I don't think loans are on the table. I mean, if you want me to add a loan, I can add one. But, I don't think loans are really on the table for most of these guys here. Let me know if you want a loan row, but I don't think it's really on the table. Then you'll be asking for your jacket on your lot. Yeah, I know. They can't win. Daniel, if that's not... persistence is not working. Persistence is not working for you. I'm not just gonna budge on that, no matter how you ask it. All right. Shall we get the players out of the way that we know are going to stay? Because Phil Foden, poor season or not, he's not going anywhere. He's not. Haaland's not going anywhere. Vardy's not going anywhere. These players are quite small. Vital Reese will be safe because he's literally just joined. Is this Marmouche? I think it's Marmouche, so we'll lob him there. Is that Kusanov? I think it might. Oh no, Kusanov, you ain't being sold. Kusanov, Nico. Have I missed anyone? Rodri. And Savinho, I think, is safe. Are we in agreement that those 9 players there are safe? Phil Foden not going nowhere, but he must not be our main creative player. Haaland deserves Wirtz. If we don't sign Wirtz, I don't know what we're doing. Especially if we lose De Bruyne. Especially if we lose De Bruyne. Because I know De Bruyne has obviously dropped off. Okay, it's only natural. It's age. It's going to happen. But for me, we've got to be signing the next best thing. De Bruyne this season, I believe, has the most assists in the team, by the way. and he's played probably about half the season. In terms of, he's been available for about half of it. All right, then let's move on to players who we think are going to go. Calvin Phillips. Surely he's a sell. Can we agree that Calvin Phillips is on the way out? Surely it's time that Calvin Phillips leaves. Connect. We won't see KDB ever play a UCL game again. It's actually heartbreaking. KDB was the player of my childhood, really. I mean, yeah, he was kind of like that superstar because obviously there was Aguero, and obviously there was David Silva, but they kind of signed before I was even like old enough to talk. Well, I could probably say some words, to be fair. I think Aguero joined in 2011, so I would have been 4. So yeah, I'd hope I could talk by then, or at least somewhat. But De Bruyne joined in 2015, and so he's kind of been there throughout the majority of my childhood, and he's just always been that guy for our team. Obviously, Aguero and David Silva, they were good too, but they were like halfway through their spells at City, coming to the back end, if you get me. Guarantee KDB last home game, Bournemouth at home, Pep will not play him. He's got to get a good send off. If it is time to go, he's got to get a good send off. When do you think we're actually going to hear, like, officially? Daniel, if that is what it takes to make you like and subscribe, I don't think I want you to, because I want you to subscribe and like if you actually like the content I make. You can't bribe me with your subscription, because the thing is, yeah, you could subscribe and like right now. I could roll up my sleeves and then you could just undo that, and then I can't undo that, and you get your wish. You know, it's a silly deal that, number one, I wouldn't accept anyway, even if you couldn't take those subs and likes away. Because I want you to subscribe because you actually like the content I create. Please say something else, or I will time you out, because it's literally the only thing you said. You're not spamming, but it's quite literally the only thing you said. Please switch it up a bit. Alright, so Calvin Phillips definitely on the way out. Is that Grealish? Oh man, these players are quite small. It's hard to tell. I think that's Grealish. Do you think Grealish is gone? I just hope he rolls up his sleeve maybe next stream. Maybe next stream then, Daniel, because it's more than likely not happening here. The goalkeepers. What do you reckon's happening with Scott Carson? Because I genuinely don't know. I think it could go either way. I think Scott Carson's in undecided. Why? What difference does it make? Genuinely, I know. Like, what is it? What is it you wish to see? What is it you are hoping for? Now then, let's bring Ortega and Eddie next to each other. What do you think's happening to these two? Because there is a possibility that they both go and we sign 2 keepers. I don't think that's probably likely. I think one is staying and one is going. It just depends who. I mean, we could definitely lose both. Don't take him. Don't take him on. He's being a weirdo. Block him. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll do exactly that. Edison 100% going. Ortega shouldn't be number 1. He's not good enough for it, in my opinion. Yeah, I do agree. I think Ortega, when actually given like a run of games, I think he's been a little bit found out. Like, I think he's perfect for a one-off game. I think he's perfect for a one-off game. So, I think Eddie goes, and I think Ortega stays, but I'm hoping that isn't like number one keeper status. Who would you bring in to replace? Maybe Costa. Maybe Costa. He's a name that's thrown around quite a bit. Maybe ready for. You think both will leave? He does want to be the number one. He does want to be the number one. To be fair, he's made that quite clear. He is good enough to be a team's number one. I just don't think he's good enough to be our number one. However, I really want Edison to stay. I wish the club will convince him. Diogo Costa, him or no one else? Yeah, I think it is likely Costa, to be fair. Because I can't really think of anyone else either. Any other keeper that isn't already our top club and is ready for the next move, if you get me. Because like the only other one would be Mamadashvili, but he's going to Liverpool. That deal's been done for some time now. So Diogo Costa, what's his age? Diogo Costa. He's 25, 26 this year. There's no one else really. When is Oscar Bob back? Hopefully soon. This ankle setback seems to be a bit more serious than we thought, because he's not. I don't think I've seen him in training, and apparently it wasn't serious. It just sucks. I don't think we're going to see him for the rest of the season, unless something happens soon. McAtee. What do we think happens to McAtee? Because McAtee in the summer's got 1 year left on his deal. I've heard some people suggesting that maybe we try to do a swap deal with Leverkusen, give them McAtee and a good bit of money, and we get Wirtz. I've heard that be said. But at the same time, City clearly value this guy. Not value him enough, though, to give him the contract extension now. So what do you think happens to McAtee? McAtee goes, in my opinion. Do you reckon he's putting a swap deal with Wirtz, or do you reckon he just dips? Because look, I think Leverkusen are going to receive a lot of offers this season. I don't think they're going to be the same team next season. I think a lot of players are going to be jumping ship. Jan Kusa's a sell. I think that just smells of just selling someone. I believe Dortmund have got a mandatory option to buy anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty confident on this. Jan Kuto goes. Surprises he's been there. If Hugo Viana has good IQ, he will. I'm so glad we have Hugo Viana, because Tiki would just do what Pep wants and not be ruthless with outgoings. If Pep said, I want Bernardo, Gundo, Walker, Kova, he needs to go, no. Look, if Pep wants those, he can only have, I think, one. The only player that I would even contemplate him being allowed to keep there is Bernardo. Okay, the other three I think should go. Okay, and I say Bernardo quite lightly, by the way. Bernardo is no longer a pivotal midfielder for us. He's not your start. He's not the starter for me next season. He's the only one, like I say, stays. I think Gundo, Walker, Kova, I think they've all got to go there. So, should we just lob them in now? Gundo, Kova. Is that Walker? Yeah, looks like Walker. And then we got a good few players left. I think John Stones goes. I don't think Johnny's there next season. I don't think we can keep a player on the books that gets injured so often. How many games was he fit before picking up this injury? 5? I think his season might be done, by the way. I don't know. Something about that injury just didn't look good. I think John Stones is done. He's got 1 year left on his deal as well. There's no time like now to really sell him. As much as it'd be nice for him to complete his 10 years, and if he played next season, that would be his 10 years complete. I do think it's coming to an end. This is his 4th injury now. He's been back since late January. Hi, Isaac. Welcome. I've jumped on the Belabor hype. Hope City signs him. I think Stone's career, when you walk off the pitch, I don't think we'll see him again. Yeah, I think it's done too. I don't know. Something about that injury didn't look good. Shame that it has sounded like that, but I genuinely do think that's done. Yeah, Belabor, though, he seems a top player. I don't think he's going to be cheap, though. They don't like to sell their players too cheap. Brighton. So then now we're left with Akanji, Ake, De Bruyne, Diaz, Doku, Rico. Is that Nunez? Nunez will surely sell. Right? Mate, that guy would have been an all-timer if it wasn't for injuries. Yeah, I know. John Stones, he was such a good player. Well, he is a good player. So maybe we can negotiate a good price. Yeah, I mean, he's got 1 year left, so if I see Nunez at right back once next season, I'll lose him. Lad, he's got to go. He's absolutely got to go for me. Look, he had a good, decent purple patch of form this season, but I want a bit more than purple patches from my midfielders. I want just consistent throughout. And to be able to play in the role we signed them for too. Because he's not trusted to go in that pivot or anything like that. Bernardo, what do you think? What do you think of Bernardo? Because I don't know, I'm kind of drifting here. Pep loves him, FYI. We got to remember that. Pep absolutely adores Bernardo. But at the same time, he is on that list. So what do we think happens to Bernardo? Is he going or is he staying? See, as a buyback clause on James Trafford, they should definitely bring him back. He's a class goalkeeper. Well, I mean, looks like Newcastle want him, so he's got to be decent, to be fair. But yeah, we've got a decent buyback available. I don't know if I trust James Trafford to be like number 1 off from the off, but how old is he now? How old is James Trafford? James Trafford's 22, turning 23 this season. I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know. Do we sign 2 goalkeepers this window? I mean, it just depends on how much we sell our goalkeepers for, if we sell them. Because Trafford's a solid keeper. Trafford's only looking good at Burnley because Scott Parker's going absolutely crazy about the Parker best style and conceding no shots. I do think Trafford's decent, but I do also think he's a bit unproven. Like, don't get me wrong, this is cool, this is good, but like, they're quite literally parking the bus beyond belief. I think he's decent though. Yeah, I do think he deserves that step up to the Prem. It just depends. I don't think he can be City's number 1 next season. I think that should be Diogo Costa or something like that. Yeah, he would rather this. Remember connect 0. I know it was no. You know, I bet it's nice when you don't concede goals, but I bet it's not nice when you don't score any either. I mean, sure, like it's not very entertaining, is it? Who's this guy here? I'm trying to make it out. I can only think it's Simpson Poussey. I don't think Simpson Poussey is going anywhere, to be honest. Maybe. How old is he? He could very well go on loan. I do think he could very well go on loan. He's 19. I don't think we lose him. Maybe Magnan. See, mine ends at 29. I just don't think that's very long term. He's now out of the first team squad, not in training, and seems to be demoted back into academy. No one's realised. I have seen that he's back in academy. I saw him on like an Instagram post from City. I know he scored a goal for the academy, maybe a couple of days ago. So what? Do we put him here? I don't know if his future's set in stone. Is my thing. I think these four. I think it's up in the air with them. Maybe it was Kanji who made him look bad. I'd prefer Trafford than Costa. The Championship is a much harder league than the Portuguese league. Our sub-academy talent is Mukasa. Oh yeah, Divin Mukasa, right? I remember when we signed him. We need to give him a chance at some point. He is class. Yeah, hope maybe he gets a cup game next season. That'd be nice. Alright, these 6 now. I think Rico's safe, to be honest. I think Rico's safe. I know he's been poor at some times this season, but I don't think he's going anywhere. You know, how old is he? Like 20? I don't think Rico's going anywhere. Most played teenager under Pep Guardiola as well. Isn't McAdoo quite promising as well? Yeah, from what I hear. I'm not going to say I watch him all the time. I think I've seen like a couple clips. But yeah, apparently he's pretty good as well. Oh. These 5. I think Diaz is safe. I don't know about De Bruyne. I can't see us losing John Stones and Kyle Walker and Akanji / Ake. So I think these 2 are safe. Let me know if you object, by the way, and what do you think to Doku? Because I think Doku's showing bad signs of being an injury-prone player. I really do. Don't get me wrong, he's clearly a good player, but he is really showing the signs of an injury-prone guy. He's clearly talented, but, you know, this season he's had 2 injuries. Last season he had 2 injuries. Season before he had 3 injuries. Season before that he had 5 injuries. So, like, what do we think to Doku? If we beat Liverpool, if we got Nico G earlier, I think we would have gone on to win the league. Man, if only. Ooh. I think that's a good argument. Look, we're losing a lot of players here, aren't we? Anyone we eject here? You know, we got Carson, McAtee, Simpson Poussey, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, and Doku in the undecided. You just said to put Doku here. What about the rest of them? The gap could literally be 11 points if we beat Brentford and get slapped by Arsenal and drew to Everton. The draw to Everton, man, that was just sad. That was just sad. So what would this leave us with next season? Phil Foden, Haaland, Vardio, Vital Hayes, Marmoush, Kusanov, Nico, Rodri, Savinio, Rico, Ake, Akanji, and Diaz. Let's try to group these up. So defenders over here. Defenders there. Wingers over there. Put Marmoush there because he can kind of act as both. Nico G there, that works with Rodri. And Phil Foden here because he kind of acts as like a cam / winger. So how many does this leave us with in total? 3, 6, 9, 13. This leaves us with 13 players, by the way. Assuming that all these were to leave as well. Doku's been injured 4 times. Yeah. Oscar Bob. Yeah, don't worry. Oscar Bob's not on this list for some reason. But yeah, Oscar Bob, he would be in the stay category. So I guess that brings us up to 14. Sign Alex Bajanovic, can be Asa Baleba, and a good defender. I could definitely see Doku getting sold like a Torres type deal. Where if someone comes in, he goes. Yeah. I'm leaning to a bit more towards sold with Doku. I think he's a solid player, but I don't know. I think his injuries are just going to hinder him too much, so I would put him in there. Are we able to make a final decision on these guys? Scott Carson, McAtee, Simpson Poussey, Bernardo Silva, and De Bruyne. Are we able to make a final decision on those? Or is it just too up in the air? Is it too... Could it go either way too much here? Shows how bad our 2023 recruitment was. Yeah. I mean, even the summer 2022 wasn't the greatest. You got to remember we signed Calvin Phillips and Sergio Gomez in there. Don't know why I think there was one more. No, there wasn't. But it was Calvin Phillips, Sergio Gomez. Julian Alvarez ain't here no more. Obviously, Haaland is a brilliant signing, and Ortega has shown his worth. Rate that window out of 10. For me, it's a 0. Looking back horrifically. Yeah, I mean, it's not even just that. Look, I think it's quite key to know that Kovacic wasn't meant to be a Gundogan replacement, because you got to remember, I think we had a here we go on Kova before we had a here we go on Gundo. So I don't think Gundo was meant. I don't think Kova was meant to be a Gundo replacement. I actually think I don't know if you remember, but we got heavily linked with Declan Rice. Like literally, David Ornstein said we put in a bid. And there was a small, short-lived bidding battle between City and Arsenal for Declan Rice. I think we bid about 95 million. It got denied, didn't go through and whatnot. But I think Declan Rice was meant to be the replacement. Don't know why I called him Deckers there. I'm not his mate. Claudio Echeverri. Yeah, excited for that. Oh, we got Vardio. That was mint. But I'll give it 3 just for that. Yeah, Vardio last summer was banging. Bernardo stay. Kovacic stay for bench. Looks like Gundo will be Pep's assistant, says Raquel. Welcome back to the chat, by the way. Think you win the last stream as well. Big ups, like the profile picture. Looks like Gundo will be Pep's assistant. I mean, if he wants that, fine. If he does want a bit like of an assistant role, that's absolutely fine. I don't mind Gundo having a role in the club beyond on the pitch. If Gundo stays, he's got to be no more than like what Scott Carson is. Maybe a little smidge more than that. But he's got that must be like his main role. Echeverri is 4 months to impress Pep. Otherwise, I think he'll go out on loan again or something like that. Well, I think he'll get his pre-season. I think Echeverri will definitely play in pre-season. And hopefully get some minutes here and there. Assuming that is injury, because I don't know if you know, but he did pick up an injury on his ankle in the Argentina under-20s. He played anyway with an injury, so big ups to him for that. But he did get injured. So he's probably currently making recovery from that whilst also joining Man City. medical team with us will work on that. By the way, let's stop. He'll do everything to keep Bernardo at the club because he'd probably rather leave. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I think Bernardo stays. I think Bernardo will stay. And what about the remaining four? Carson, McAtee, Simpson, Poussey, De Bruyne. Is it two up in the air for them? Or is it just like... Or do we just not have a home for them? Is it two up in the air? Or do you reckon we can try and work this out? Because I don't know for De Bruyne. I think you could make an argument for the move to go either ways. The thing is with KDB, though, he's done 10 years. Okay, this is 10th season. Okay, which is a big thing, you know. Any reason for him to leave, you know, he could be like, I've done my 10 years now. I've served a good time here. You know, I've served basically my whole career here, or the bulk of it. Now it might be a good time to call it off. I think if City and KDB are willing to let him do a moderate role, I think he can stay. I do think De Bruyne can still offer something at the top level. He's okay to stay on reduced wages and a 1 in 6 game player. Yeah, I think that is about right for Gundo. I'm gonna guess he's talking about Gundo. KDB is the only one I have sympathy for and should be allowed to choose what he wants to do. Yeah, I actually agree with that. You know, I don't want him to be pushed out the club. I think City should offer him a contract to be like, yo, 1 year deal, you know, the regular biz, whatever you want to call it. Bit more of a relaxed role if you want it. Or, you know, we can call it quits here. And you can leave in the summer. Okay, but contract here, don't feel pressured. We want to keep you, but we understand if you want to leave. So I think that is probably the best way to be. I think it all seems so bad because Rodri is injured. As soon as he's back, these players we want to sell will look good again. But I think that's a problem. I think Rodri makes other players look better. Okay, because of how good he is and makes them play a bit better. I think we have to sell players that look better because of Rodri and bring in new players that are actually good. You know, and don't just look good type thing. Obviously, some of these guys that we are selling have been and are good. You know, like Gundo, top midfielder for us over the years. Okay, I just don't think he can do it no more. Grealish obviously had that wonderful spell in the treble season. Kovac, when he was playing alongside Rodri last season, wasn't too shabby. Walker, obviously, for a time, he was great. This season, not so. John Stones, typically good when he plays, just gets injured a lot. Mateus Nunes, not gonna lie, I don't think he's ever looked that great. And Doku, when he plays, he looks pretty good, but he gets too injured too much. Just saw a clip of McAdoo. This guy is going to be the next Messi. Oh my days. KDB did drop a big bombshell in one of his City videos. He said when he was talking about his Newcastle game, I'm never a good cameo or off the bench player. I actually saw that. I actually watched that video. Was it the buzzer one where like he's looking at assists? I hope City buy a new left back in the summer transfer window. Well, with the signing of Cambiasso, if we get that, which I think we should, Cambiasso could play right back and left back, and I think he can even go in midfield a little bit. We all know how much Pep likes a versatile player, so that does kind of line up. I'd okay if he's saying a hint with that. He could be. You know, I don't think that is. I don't think that's far fetched. That's what I'm saying, though. The new players might not be as good at playing Rodri. And that's why you've got to get your recruitment right, Sean. That's why you've got to get your recruitment spot on. That's what good recruitment is. Players that can come into the squad and gel with new ones. I want actual fullbacks, not centre-backs at fullback. It worked with Vardio, but yeah, I would like a fully proven, an actual proven fullback to join the club because we've seen that so many times. We may have to completely change the way that we play. I think that's been made clear this season, to be honest with you, Sean. You know, tactics we've tried just haven't worked this season. Whether it's because Rodri's unavailable or not, I don't think matters too much. I think we need to make change. I hope City sacks all the assistant coaches. I think our set piece coach needs to have a look at, that's for sure. So are we all in agreement on this? Is this a good tier list? Have we been a bit silly with this one? Are we not sure on these four? Sean, but you can't seriously keep Gundo Bernardo. We have to upgrade them, in my opinion, mate. Yeah, I mean, I think Bernardo can still play for this club, but there's no way he could be that midfielder that we wanted in our starting 11 every single week for a point. That'll either get on my nose yapping and Pepsi non-stop. Maresca just left him to it. Yeah, Maresca did a good job, but I don't know. I don't think he's going to leave Chelsea this season, and subsequently, I don't think he'll leave in the summer just to come for an inferior. Well, it's not really inferior, joining Manchester City. Everyone should be privileged. I certainly would be. But an inferior job position, going from a full blown coach to just a coach, to like an assistant coach. When Maresca is sacked, getting back as assistant coach. Hey, I'd definitely offer him. If he does get sacked, I'd definitely be like, yo, here's your job back. If you want it. Because he was good with us. He was good. The other while, I could see him constantly messing with Pep, thinking, I see them arguing non-stop. Yeah. Good to have on the bench. I'd say we need some experience when Rodri's back. They will be good again. We can't keep them all just because if one player makes all our other players good, we are subsequently relying on that player to stay fit. If that is what it comes to, we need players to be good without Rodri. Okay, because look, for all we know, just because Rodri's missed this entire season doesn't mean he won't get injured again next season. Doesn't mean he'll do his ACL again, but who knows? Maybe he pulls his hamstring and we lose him for 2 months or something. Yeah? Do you get what I'm saying? We need players that can play good without Rodri. We can't just have one player that elevates everyone else, and then when he's gone, we look like a mid-table team again. We have to be able to do the business without Rodri. Then we need a system change too. This system is 1 year out of date now. Yeah, we need to try new things. We need to try new players. Look, it's a summer clear out. We know that there's going to be a big clear out. I'm not going to say all these guys are going to leave. I do think there's a solid possibility that Doku stays. I think Nunes is gone. I think John Stones is gone. I think Walker's gone. Mateo Kovacic, I'm not going to lie, I think I'm a bit more hair on, but I think he's probably going to be gone. Gundo, I hope goes. No offense to him. I love him, but I think it is time. And Grealish, I think is probably going to go. I think we lose both keepers as well. Latest news on Wirtz. Had a couple of rumours. Like the other day that we are targeting him for the summer and that he's the ideal KDB replacement. KDB plus 1 year. Yeah, I think I'd like a KDB 1 year extension. But it just depends on the role because he can't be that the guy we rely on. Even if De Bruyne signs a new contract, I want Wirtz in. I want Wirtz in whether De Bruyne goes or stays. Imagine if Marmoush scored that free kick yesterday. I know it would have been nice. It would have been nice scenes for him, but if only it was better circumstances. Oh well, at least Nico got his first goal, I guess. Again, he probably wishes it was in better circumstances. Felt sorry for Marmoush at striker though last night. Yeah, that was a hard watch. Felt worse for Savinho because Savinho just isn't a striker and he got put there. I hated that last 10 minutes, so we could actually play football. Yeah, I know. We actually started, like, I'm not going to say we were playing brilliantly, but we actually started doing something in that last 10, maybe 15 minutes at push. Gonna just see if there's any more quotes to report on. No, it doesn't look like we've got any other big news to talk about. See if FPL main road's got anything. Nope, nothing. Yeah, it doesn't look like I got anything else in terms of news. Mainly just wanted to cover this because I think it's an interesting topic in terms of the clear out. We'll probably talk about this one more time. Predictions on Sunday. I'm going for a bold 2-0 City win. I think we're going to do Liverpool. I don't know why. But I think we were going to do Real Madrid too. So, I'm probably not the most reliable source of information, to be honest with you. 3-1 City. A rumour came out 2 hours ago that both City and Liverpool are interested in signing Baleba. It doesn't surprise me. I think Baleba's going to have a lot of people sniffing. We will need a new midfielder. And hey, look, Baleba, he's got that energy, he's got that drive that Kovacic's got too. Kova can drive well on the ball. And hey, look, if we can sign Baleba, that's great. But look, Wirtz is going to cost you well over 100 mil. And I don't think City will spend over 100 mil on more than one player. And so I think Baleba's going to cost you near enough to 100 million, if I'm being honest. Knowing how Brighton like to sell players, it just depends on how quickly we act on him, because he has been a revelation for Brighton this season. But it just depends whether he how he does and how much we can get him for. If placed direct, Liverpool will feel the pressure. Not to mention they've not won at the Etihad in 10 years. If he starts going to Bernardo, I don't want to see us for the rest of the season. We need to fully have learned our lessons after the culling Real Madrid gave us. So yeah, we've got to take that and go. Baleba, how no? I don't know. I think he looks pretty good. I do think Baleba looks pretty good. Give Salah that much space on our left side. Yeah, we will play differently to how we played against Madrid. No doubt. Alright, I think I'm going to call it there, lads. Big ups to everyone who tuned in. Look, we got a good bit of interaction on here for such a late stream, so I do appreciate it. It's 20 minutes off 11 here, so thank you to everyone who tuned in. It's been an interesting talk. It's been an interesting topic. Let me know if you did enjoy the stream. I'm trying to do at least one stream about City news once a week, so thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all, make sure to like and subscribe and to turn on the notification bell if you don't want to miss more of these streams and videos. But nonetheless, feel free to tune into the next one, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.